Hey, welcome to the show. My name is Mike, and this is GetVoIP's weekly recap. Excuse me if I seem a little bit off today. I actually just got back to New York maybe 5 or 6 hours ago. My flight from the ITExpo in Miami was lacking a captain for the better part of a half hour, and it wasn't exactly welcoming to get off the plane and be greeted by 30-degree weather when I'd been enjoying the wonderful paradise that is Miami. But anyway, I want to say anybody that was at the ITExpo, a lot of people that I got to converse with from the industry, it's always nice to sort of go back and forth, and I really appreciate you guys taking the time to sit and talk to us and give us some key insights. I feel like everybody benefits from it in the long run. So anyway, let me get to the weekly recap. Like I said, we just returned from the ITExpo, so I'm going to have some insights from panels going on later on in the show. So the first thing I want to talk about is some news from VoIP-Pal. Their Lawful Intercept patent is really on the fringe of becoming a complete reality. They've taken yet another step in securing the patent, and it's been officially allowed. And as the VoIP provider awaits its final issue, this has really been an ongoing foray since 2007. It's been wrought with amendments, revisions, rejections, you name it. They've had a tough time getting it through, but you know that's par for course as far as the nature of the patent. So the waters are starting to settle, and I want to say welcome to the new frontier. There are no political or geographical boundaries, Wi-Fi, DSL, cable, you name it. Everything is going to be completely transparent and open to monitoring. Digifonica's Lawful Intercept features an absolute stealth mode, which is unparalleled by anyone else in the industry. So illegal activities will soon be curtailed. I don't know exactly how abundant they are in America, but I know there are some foreign countries where they had some real problems and they had to raid illegal VoIP centers like Nepal and Bangladesh. So those things will pretty much be a thing in the past, and everybody's going to be sort of chopping at the bit to get a hold of this patent. Next thing I want to talk about is Polycom issued some new leaders. Polycom named 2 new regional presidents in Damian Art, President of the Americas, and Tracy Newell, Executive Vice Pres of Global Sales. Michael Alp will be manning the helm in the Asia-Pacific region, and all the new appointments, pretty much these people are at the top of their respective games and expertise, naturally. Polycom had a less than stellar end to 2012. I don't know if anyone's been following, but the whole video conferencing and video UC industry had been on a little bit of a dip towards the end of the year. That's fine. Everything's pretty much going to be smooth sailing from here on out. I can feel it. So there was an unveiling of new products from Strategy Day that should definitely help matters for Polycom, and the company continues to push, of course, led by their CEO, who is diligent and well-spoken. That's Andrew Miller. He stated more or less that they're going to help to drive the growth for a company and partner community. So it's more of a power in numbers philosophy going on with Polycom. Next thing I want to talk about is from the ITExpo and also a press release that we covered. Snom introduced some new desktop phones. I got a first-hand look at some of those phones at the expo, and also had a chance to talk with some of the representatives that were on hand. So never mind all the red tape that comes with launching Link and integrating it. The new Snom phones, they all come Link ready. And this is going to be the 7 series. It offers 3 models of IP phones. The Snom 760 UC edition, that's the executive level. Snom 720 UC edition, that's for middle management. And the Snom 710 UC, which is an entry-level phone for the standard workforce. So each model of this phone offers different levels of interoperability. All 3 come equipped with affordability. They're full-featured and compatible with Microsoft Link, as I mentioned. So there's no need for third-party software at all. It's going to have presence options, pretty much the complete UC system that you enjoy with Microsoft Link built into your phone. They're going to feature the new Snom UC edition firmware, which is called Apollo, and that's, no pun intended, already launched, with a unique Link telephony feature support, music on hold. Alright, maybe that pun was intended, I'm sorry. But Boss Admin, which is more of the presence features, integrated presence, full interoperability, and integration of standards-based desktop phones in Link deployment environments, and more. So I had a really great time talking to the guys that were on hand from Snom, and I look forward to being in contact with them and maybe getting a few demos. But anyway, let me finish up by covering a few panels. there's a lot going on, and it's really difficult to not spread yourself thin when you attend the ITExpo. But I had the chance to sit in on some really key panels. You guys can check out a few of our blogs. We covered some of the events and wrote down, our take and our spin on pretty much what some of the top people in the industry, some of the biggest and best minds, were saying about some real, they're not daunting issues, but they're ones that need to be addressed. So I want to talk about trends as far as hosted versus cloud and on-premises solutions. The panel they had was called Making Sense of the Options. So really, backup plans and disaster recovery are key. Following the aftermath of Hurricane Sandy, I didn't realize exactly how many businesses were out of business for not weeks, but months, and some people are still feeling it. Some businesses actually almost had to fold or did fold because of it. So really, having these backup plans are key. You got to have failover, and you got to make sure that business continuity is priority one before you even worry about setting up your voicemail. So hearing the extent of these damages, it was really harrowing to hear about all these companies that are out of commission. I know I might seem like a fanboy because I'm wearing a RingCentral shirt, but hey, I love free swag like anybody else, and yeah, it's a good fit for me. I don't know why I'm cupping. Yeah, never mind. But anyway, Jose Pastor, the VP of Product Management from RingCentral, he was pretty much the MVP of this discussion in my opinion. Of course, I'm not being a fanboy. I wish I could conjure up a different word for it, but that's video game lingo for you. But anyway, Jose was sharing a lot of great insights, and it seemed like he was really driving the discussion, and people had a lot of questions for him because he was really the only representative from a cloud-based voice provider. So a lot of the insights that parallel with what RingCentral are doing right now, and this is revamping their support system to include the How Do I sections. It's very important to add these portals for users, and we generally speak to the customer of the small to medium business. A lot of these companies don't have time for that. They don't want to back out of menus. They don't want to go back to square one and learn. RingCentral have a great idea in that they're making this wizard sort of wiki-based portals, wiki-based guidance rather, with videos. Like a 1 or 2 minute video that's right within what you're dealing with, so you can basically grab the issue, not have to back out of menus, not have to call somebody from IT over. It makes it almost seamless. So whether you're choosing a hybrid or a hosted model, there's plenty of factors to take into account. A big thing from the Expo, which a lot of people were discussing this year as we make the movement towards the cloud, is security issues. Security is an issue that almost every panel that I attended grappled with. And as we reach widespread adoption, of course, these things are important. So again, it's a collective effort from the providers, from the subscribers, and another thing I want to discuss is number porting. Jose made a really good point, along with reps from Vitelli, that keeping a system running infinitely or indefinitely is just really dependent on planning. And in the same breath as backup recovery, disaster recovery, you need to ask questions. When you subscribe to a service, find out how long it's going to take to port over your old number. Even if you go 2 days without your number, that could mean revenue and business that you're losing. So make sure you're asking those questions whenever you subscribe to a service, that you're planning accordingly, that you give yourself a little bit of leeway and some time. Number porting is not an exact science, and it could take a few days to up to a month or two. You never know, and it's great to get an estimate and maybe even overshoot that. Give yourself some room to breathe. So I'll just close out. You guys can read more on that discussion, but summing it up, I want to say that what I got from it is more or less value, ease of use, reliability, and capability are the elements that are really distinguishing and really sort of crowning the winners in this industry. That those are the things that consumers are really looking for in the service, and I think that everybody's sort of getting it now. It's not about complexities, it's not about overloading with features. It's really about taking things step by step and helping people understand basically what's foreign to them. So anyway, I want to close out with one of the top keynotes from the Expo. Tim Martin, who is the Director of Cloud Vertical at Telefonica Digital Limited. Now, Telefonica are really setting the standard. I'll candidly admit that we haven't been following them closely enough here at GetVoIP, but we're going to be doing so. in the coming weeks, if not the coming hours. I'm going to take a look at some things later myself. But Telefonica are absolutely setting the standard, stating how cloud is becoming an imminent and pretty much a preferred option for many enterprises. A lot of companies with their IT, they're making white label applications, and that goes hand in hand. It's the perfect marriage with BYOD, setting these private clouds and private applications for people to leverage on their own mobile devices. Now, Gartner stated in a report that the conundrum with BYOD comes into the fact that there's a challenge in the employees that ultimately own their own devices. That's the O in BYOD, of course. So security measures are going to come into play. Tim brought up an interesting point, as if in the event that your haphazard / clumsy employee happens to leave his tablet on the train and it has all kinds of vital information on it, there's got to be a way for the company to sort of lock the device, track it, and I guess in the worst of circumstances be able to wipe that information. It's like something out of the Matrix. So we're really teetering on some developments of the future here. Telefonica just launched a whole bunch of new channels, and Mr. Martin put it best by saying they want the best of breed. They don't want a proprietary solution that's just exclusive to their own development team. They want to make sure that they have the best solution possible, and they're going to work with whoever possible to ensure that. So again, people are embracing the cloud, but they would really prefer to be private. Really look for Telefonica to launch some great solutions in conjunction with the new program. And scalability, flexible infrastructure with security measures, like I mentioned before, are so key moving forward. And either way, the cloud is here to stay for the time being. It's really an exciting time. But again, there are all these questions that need to be addressed. So that's it. It's rather a abridged version of the show. Maybe I was rambling on, but you'll have to contend with that, of course, because I genuinely really need some sleep. But that'll about wrap up the show. And I really thank you guys for joining us. I want to thank everybody that got together with us and said hello at the expo. Again, it was really wonderful to conversate and network and hang out and get a really close look at some of the things that will be coming out in the future and some of the things that are out already that we weren't aware of. So, yes, that'll wrap it up. This has been our February 1st, 2013 edition of the GetVoIP Weekly Recap. Thanks for joining in.